guys, so I'm going to take you through what I'm looking for in terms of your summative essay, the criteria, and where you can find everything. So if you go to Unit 5, Final Course Evaluations, and scroll down to Activities 1 and 2, you're going to find Activities 1 and 2 here at the bottom. The assignment has your essay prompt. So you have to scroll past your first blog post, your second blog post, all of these things that you've already done and received feedback on that should help you to construct your final essay. So activity number 2 is the essay based on the revised blog post. So that does not mean that you're just going to edit your blog post and keep the tone and everything the way that it is in the blog post. It means that you use the blog post as kind of a way of generating some ideas around a critical theory. And I've given you some feedback on that, and now you know how you could develop it further. But so you can use the ideas in your blog post, absolutely, but your final essay is going to look very different than your blog post did in your blog. Okay, so your first thing you're going to do is you're going to choose which critical lens you feel most comfortable applying to your text. And then you can look under each of the theories. There is a suggested prompt, and you can choose one of two for reader response and archetypes, or either feminism or post-colonialism. There's one for each of those. If you have any questions about what the prompts mean, post them in the discussion board, and I'd be happy to explain. So the instructions say by now you finish your book and analyze it from two perspectives. Which perspective do you believe allowed you to gain the most insight into your text, right? So not which was the easiest to apply, but which one helped you to like really realize interesting, insightful things about the messages in the text or the characters' interplay and dynamics by looking at it through a specific lens. So which one helped you the most to get to the most insightful conclusion? Which perspective allowed you to discover things about your text that required you to really think deeply and make connections both within the text and other texts, your own experience, and the world. So choose the post that best fits these criteria, and then you're going to develop that into an essay of between 750 and 1,000 words. And you may use any of the essay forms presented in Unit 3 to communicate your analysis. I'm just going to caution you that you should not do that. So if you try and write a narrative essay, for example, obviously the instructions say you can, but you're not going to be able to do any literary analysis in a narrative. So it would be very ill-advised to do that. I strongly recommend choosing an argumentative style essay where you're not using pathos or ethos, although ethos you would always use, and structuring it more like a critical literary essay from previous years. Because that structure is going to allow you to develop the deepest insights into the text using evidence from the text and analysis of that evidence to draw specific conclusions. So I highly recommend using the argument where you're not using emotionally loaded arguments, but rather evidence-based arguments so that you're really demonstrating insight into the text. That's my advice. You can take it or leave it. I'm marking you. Right. Anyway, so for the assessment criteria, your essay should be approximately 750 to 1,000 words. It should contain direct references to your text and parenthetical citations. So anytime you're quoting from your book, you're going to use the author and the page number. If it's your only source, you can just use the page number after the first incident. But if you're using other sources, then you're going to need to use the author and page number each time. You're going to write in well-developed sentences and paragraphs. Ensure your language is formal in the essay. So again, avoiding more persuasive style where you're going to inject yourself into it. You're going to stick with an argumentative style. Make observations that go deeper than the surface of the text. So don't just tell me how women behaved in the text or how women were treated in the text. Think about the choices that the author is making to construct certain ideas within the text. So we're looking for, is there symbolism? Did the author use structure to construct any ideologies? Did they use words or loaded words in a particular way to try and make you feel a particular way about either gender or race in the text? So you're going to be analyzing the same way you'd applied literary theory in every other assignment this semester, try and look for deeper than the surface evidence to demonstrate your insights. And lastly, identify specific stylistic techniques and conventions and explain why they are effective or ineffective when it comes to communicating a particular idea. So essentially, if you're answering, for example, examine the degree to which gender inhibits a character's development and communicates a major theme in the work. So you're going to explain how the author uses stylistic techniques to develop that theme about gender inhibiting a character's development. Okay, so you're going to try and combine all those things. The rubric is looking very specifically for 4 things. The first one is organizing and developing your ideas. So did you support your ideas using summary, paraphrase, and quotation? Essentially, are you using textual evidence to support your ideas? W2, are you using academic formatting with considerable precision? W3, are you communicating important ideas and supporting details with considerable effectiveness? So have you developed an insightful essay, topic, thesis? That's the word I'm looking for, thesis. And are you proving it effectively, especially using your knowledge of conventions of an essay? So is the essay structured well, and conventions in terms of spelling and grammar? And then R1, reading for meaning, is the student showed a good understanding of their summative book. So that's where a good understanding would be not just a surface level understanding of plot, but also an understanding of theme, structure, diction choices, and style elements. Okay, so that's good. That's your level 3. You have to do all of that pretty well in order to get a level 3. So level 4 is really showing me deeper insights into the text. The more specific and focus your thesis, the more likely you'll be able to get a level 4 in all of your categories. So make sure that your thesis is responding effectively to a prompt and develops a theme statement that you can improve throughout the essay. All right, if you have any questions, post them in the discussion board, and I will see you later.